What's happening, friends? Welcome to Unlocked. It is the world's #1 Xbox show. I'm Ryan McCaffrey. We're joined by Destin Legary, who's probably going to appear almost ethereal. The ho-ho-ho wearing...
me.
Because of the Santa Claus hat, right, Ryan?
Yes! For the love of God, would you let me get a sentence out? I'm not even going to introduce Marty now. That's how this is going to go. Say hi to the sweater over there.
Also a hoe.
Hit me. Coming up on this week's show, the final new episode of 2016. We're going to be taking a bunch of questions from our Unlocked Facebook group full of a bunch of awesome people, so listen for your question there if you're a part of that community. We hopefully will have time to catch up on the last of the year's big Xbox news. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and we'll see whatever else comes up. But first, a quick sponsored message.
Thanks, Ryan. To get you in this holiday spirit, we're going to play Santa Claus with a giveaway. Brought to you by World of Tanks. You'll have a chance to win an Xbox One and some World of Tanks goodies. To enter, pour yourself some delicious eggnog and head to this link, go.ign.com/unlockedgiveaway. All one word. Eggnog is optional. And if you want to try World of Tanks, it's completely free to download for Xbox One, Xbox 360, and PS4. So come celebrate the holidays with IGN and World of Tanks. Warm wishes to you all. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Naomi. All right, guys, let's jump in. We're going to start with the long-awaited, long-requested, Unlocked Facebook group Q&A. Marty, you were kind enough to solicit and curate a bunch of awesome questions from all the awesome people.
Yeah.
There's a great idea on my part. Thousands of people in there.
Good job, Marty.
Yeah, there's 10,000.
Stop. You sent out an email that was like, this is a really good idea. This is what we'll do for the show this week. Thanks to Marty for the idea. And I came up with the idea 2 weeks beforehand. It was like, again, Ryan. Marty and I are different people.
She has a thing about needing credit all the time, doesn't she?
It's a validation conflict.
Like
It's a-
when she deserves it.
Like not wanting Marty to
it's less her wanting credit and more her not
Keeping it away from you.
me.
Yeah.
Yes, you're
Well,
right.
Alana, would you like to introduce our first question here, or whatever I was trying to say?
What's the Facebook group, Marty?
It is facebook.com/groups/podcast unlocked.
Okay.
I say with
says
the
very
utmost
confidently.
confidence.
So the first question comes from Brian Tuglia. You're all of differing ages, but you have all come together due to your love of video games.
This is true.
What are each of your first memories of games?
Oh, this is gonna date. This is gonna go real badly.
I have a really hard time even remembering because I was so young when I started playing games. But I think the first game I ever played was Moto Racer on PC.
Interesting choice.
I played it with my dad, and I remember having a ton of fun in that game. And I specifically always remember the way that when you put your name in, there's a guy on the menu screen that just yells, "Enter your name." And I still have that in my head, even though I haven't played that game since I was 8.
That should be your ringtone now.
Enter
your name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
All right, so if we're going youngest to oldest, Marty, I believe that makes you next.
Yeah, I think Mario 3 was the first one I remember playing.
That's there's nowhere to go but down after that. So.
Yeah, I remember playing it. I associate it more with it was the house I lived in until I was 4. And so I sort of distinctly remember, I probably wasn't even playing. I think my older brother was playing. And I remember the weird pipe world where it was like the only level in the game where if you go all the way to it was like a single vertical screen. If you go all the way to the right, you come out from the left. And I, for some reason, remember that level specifically. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Destin?
So while they were giving their answers, I was just thinking back to all my early experiences with video games. And I used to have to drive from Fort Francis to Thunder Bay to meet my mom because my parents are divorced, and I would go visit my mom, right? And
Those both sound like fake cities,
Yeah,
or like
absolutely
places
thinking
in
that.
Fallout.
It's like you could have made that up. And I
Fort
wouldn't know.
Francis and Thunder Bay.
totally real places. So anyway, we would meet at this just cafe or whatever, right? And they had this weird thing on the TV with mushrooms and this little guy. It was Mario Brothers, right? The original Mario Brothers one. And I got
Super
to play
Mario
it briefly.
Brothers or Mario Brothers?
Super Mario
Brothers. Okay.
So I played that for a little bit, and I just had no idea what the heck it was. So weird to me, that there were mushrooms and stuff. But that's one of my earliest memories playing the original Mario.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. Super Mario Brothers, the original. It was
Bunch of Mario boys.
That's why people love Nintendo, because that's where it starts for a lot of people. I just remember, being over at a friend's house. I didn't have the system yet, but he had the Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt combo cartridge. put it in the NES, and I just remember being completely transfixed by that video game.
Yeah.
And
Can I
it's-
ask you guys what the first game that, like, I remember the first game I played was Moto Racer, but the thing that I think made me love games was probably Perfect Dark, maybe Banjo-Kazooie. It was something on the Nintendo 64 was the
Yeah.
point where I was like, all right, I'm in. This is something I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Do you guys have that game?
Mine's still the same answer. It's Super
Yeah.
Mario
Oh, wow.
Brothers. Yeah, it's just I loved it so much. I
Yeah.
played that game thousands of times. I mean, just endlessly.
I think mine's probably like I think the games where I was like, all right, this is like I'm in it for the long haul were the Super Nintendo Square RPGs and I guess
Secret of Mana,
Earthbound,
Chrono Trigger.
Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI,
Yeah.
and Earthbound. Like those are the games where I was like, I just became old enough to like actually be able to use critical thinking to get through games. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, this is something that I'm sticking with.
Nice.
Mine was definitely NES era, and I'm thinking back, probably either Ninja Gaiden, the original one. Like somebody just happened to be on the snow level, and they're like, "Yeah, go ahead, whatever." And so it was pretty far into the game, and I played it, and I was like, "This is so cool! Like you're a ninja." And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret
arcade
of the
game.
Ooze.
No, the arcade game.
The arcade game was the better one, but the one that I played a
Was the
lot
NES one?
was the port of it to the NES,
Which was
But-
called the arcade game.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
called the
Which
arcade
is
game.
so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why
would you
The
call
movie
something-
was Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's right. That's
Yes.
right. Yeah,
Those
yeah.
ones were
So
good.
definitely that
I
one.
love that. I remember I got that that was like my big Christmas gift one year because
Came
I
with pizza.
loved it in the arcade. Yeah, I loved it in the arcade, and when the NES port was such a big deal, and yeah, I remember just playing that. It only had 2-player co-op on
Yeah.
NES as opposed to the 4 in the arcade.
What do you
but-
mean it came with pizza?
You got a free Pizza Hut pizza when you bought the game. There was
So
like a
coupon.
coupon,
Oh,
and you
I
could
thought it
go
was
to
just like
Pizza Hut.
a pizza, just like
it's
hanging out at like
it's the
Circuit
most
City.
limited collector's edition ever. It's like you have about 2 hours to get to this before.
4 turns.